There we go. But yeah, so we're rolling. But yeah, what was it? I like how you do like the podcast where you, especially I listened to your one where you had me on and some of the other runners from the 100 or the swamp. And I like how you interview the race director first, and then you go into like, with the group, or you talking to an individual. That's kind of neat. I like that.
Yeah, because I'm kind of just playing around with different things that I always wish I could have heard in a podcast.
Yeah.
So really going with that and off of feedback, if people kind of like that style, if they want the interviews broken up,
I
or
think it's
just one big group, kind of hit and miss sometimes, but
had you done a big group one before?
I can go up to 5 guests at one
time. Okay.
I don't know how I don't think you'd even know like who you're talking to or like who's
that was the only thing. Like I couldn't recognize. I would have to like, I mean, with was it Deanna that was on?
Yeah.
Yeah, with her voice I could tell, but through the other two I couldn't tell who was who. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I liked it. That was the first podcast I've ever been invited on, so thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a cool time.
I've always wanted to listen to a podcast that had at least some Florida stuff.
Yeah.
But no one's ever all the like the southern trail running, anything in the South. It's like Georgia, Tennessee, maybe South Carolina. Even South Carolina gets left out.
Yeah.
So I guess if I'm going to do it, I guess I might as well do it.
You do it all the way. What's that?
That's why I picked Andy to go first, because I figured, well, if it turns out really bad, it's just Andy, and we can act like it never happened, and no podcast.
Yeah, it's coming out really nice, man. You pump them out like pretty consistently too. I gotta give you credit. And good editing, the music, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just using a free software. Like for one, Anchor's free, and then the editing software, I think I found it on like a podcasting YouTube video of free software.
Cool. You can learn everything on YouTube, man. Oh my gosh. Well, for people that don't know, you have the Florida Trail Running Podcast?
Yeah, the Florida Trail Runners Podcast.
People need to go check it out for sure. You were so graciously to have me on, and it was a great time with a couple of the other 100K runners. So I just, I thought I'd return the favor and have you on. I've been looking for a couple of guests, because me and my cousin started this podcast in 2020, and like we were looking for something to do, and we just like really got into the sport, and we were kind of fresh on it, and we're like, I want to talk to other people. And just like your podcast is like, it kind of really gives you like an insight onto a lot of the different Florida ultra runners, and I'm sure you learn a lot when you talk to other people too in general.
Yeah, it's nice to get that insight for different races around the state.
Yeah,
because when I've traveled out of state, I always look up that race, or like, did someone run it, and talk about the race, which that's what I like about the stories from format.
Oh yeah, I do like that. Those titles, yeah, I like that. It gives it a little like a mystery behind it almost. The stories from, and then whatever else, and then you go, oh well, I'm looking to do that race. Okay, let me get my questions answered.
Yeah, because I think if you're looking for a race, even if you hook up on Spotify or Apple, you just type in Swamp 100K.
Yeah,
at least that pops up. Or like Gasparilla Distance Classic. Oh, that pops up.
I know you talked to. I want to actually listen to the Louis Coco, his Hero 200. How's he doing, man? Oh my god,
he's on right now. He's on a cruise.
Oh, well deserved. Oh man, how was his run? I mean, was it like pretty insane? I mean, 200 miles and looking at like around his little gym, man. That's nuts.
Man, he had that live feed, and I was like addicted to looking at it.
Just to see what lap he was on.
Even on my phone, I set alarms when I think he's going to be 50 miles around here. Yeah. I think 70-ish around here. I pop on, look, creep for a little bit, and then started off.
Man, that guy's an animal. Oh my gosh.
It's
Me,
like the 50-mile mark. Well, I made 25, 50, somewhere in the 70s. I made it to 100, 150,
holy crap.
8, and I missed the 200-mile finish. I fell
You hit all like the midpoints or like the key points in the run. Oh.
every single one but the finish because I woke up at 1 o'clock and I was like, oh, I hope he's not running. But oh man, I missed this finish.
What time did he finish? Around one?
Around 11 or so.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Shit. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. I just want to go in a little bit about for you, like your background and how you know where you grew up, kind of just a little bit about you. What's your life story?
Yeah, man. So I grew up in the Midwest in Ohio,
Mm.
kind of nowhere. You
Mhm.
could tell water even year who's got bean and who's got corn. But cross country and track all through high school and coming into college, I had a lot of ideas where I wanted to run
Uh-huh.
down to like what program and then what division, you know, did I really see myself excelling at or having more of an opportunity at. And so with a lot of the D1 schools, yeah, like sometimes it's cool to say like, oh, I ran D1.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, yeah, you can run D1, but you can never make it out of regionals.
It gives you a little bit more of an area to work if you go to like a D3 or D2 school. And I'm sure you got a bigger scholarship from those. Mm.
But yeah, so yeah, I ran D2. I ultimately chose on D2, but I think I was looking at like 32 different universities and then finally just narrowed it down to what I was looking for, like a smaller campus. And then I figured, well, if I'm going to go to college, I might as well pick a college for people vacation, right? So
Yeah.
then California, Texas, here in Florida, and also the University of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I was
Oh,
checking,
that would have
but
been nice. Oh.
it was cool, but just logistically, like, man, my parents can never come watch me race.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Then I kind of narrowed it down to like, okay, well, I'll go to a Catholic university since I went, through Catholic school in high school.
Oh yeah.
I think that brought me down to like 3 schools.
Oh, okay. I'm Catholic too. Yeah.
So yeah, eventually, I chose on. I was looking at St. Leo, and I came down, did a visit. One of the big things in the recruiting process was that we're super down to like message over like Twitter and Instagram. I'm
Oh.
like, okay, the athletes actually reach out and promote their program.
Oh, sweet.
So that was a big thing that I enjoyed. But yeah, so I came down here to Florida and ran cross country and track. It was a good time. You know, I got to go to the national championships 3 times.
Holy crap, dude! Congrats. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was quite a journey to get there.
Wow. How long was in high school? How much cross country did you run all throughout?
Yeah, all throughout.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Freshman year did make it to state, and then my junior and senior year, I finally made it to state cross country.
Oh wow. Yeah. So you've been in the running game for a long time. You've been
Yeah, you know, the only reason why I started running, for one, I sucked at all the other sports. I was not very good. But like the cool sports that people go watch, wasn't really good at them. Not very coordinated. And I was like, all I got left is running. Yeah, that's where I ended up just picking that sport.
I played football, but I was a bench warmer, man. So I feel your pain. Yeah. So you went to St. Leo's, and where's that located again?
So that's actually here in Dade City,
Oh, it is. Okay, cool, man. Nice.
St. Leo, Florida, or San Antonio, Florida. But the nearest big town is going to be Dade City.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, just 35 miles northeast of Tampa.
And so you kind of stayed in the area, like you ended up liking Florida that much. You settled down there.
Yeah, I graduated college, didn't really have much of a direction to really what I wanted to do for a career. So I left, did the Army thing, and then ultimately moved back here to Florida. and then started working down here in construction.
How long were you in the military for? Just kind of.
I was just one and done.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Nice, nice. I saw on your Facebook page you met Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, so one of my friends, Carly Schroeder,
Yeah.
she knows him pretty well.
What?
And
Oh, that's cool, man.
first thing Kennedy asked me was, "What's the second stanza of the Ranger Creed?" And I went, "I don't know." Right square in the chest.
Oh my God.
The same, I could say, man, I took a punch. And
It's a UFC fighter, man. That's not, yeah, that's nothing to play with. Oh my gosh. That's wild.
he knocked the wind out of me for a little bit too. It was wild. There's no joking around.
Oh my God. But a cool guy overall. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
And I just started a BJJ back up again. That's including like ultra running. That's another humbling sport. You just get, especially as a beginner, you just get your butt kicked all the time.
Yeah, that's really where you really learn the most when you're rolling around with guys that they'll know how to tie you up because you don't know how to get out,
Oh my
but they'll
gosh.
enough for you to learn how to get out of those moves.
Yeah, yeah, they're being sweet, but they're being
Yeah,
nice too.
growing up, obviously not the same, totally different type of martial art, but
What did you
it's
do? Say it again. You cut out. I'm sorry.
taekwondo.
Oh, you did Taekwondo.
Yeah,
Oh man, one of my buddies he did Taekwondo when he was growing up. Yeah, Taekwondo is nothing to mess with, man. That's a legit martial art.
yeah. After 9/11, so my dad went to Bahrain.
Uh-huh.
This is one garden, and my mom kind of realized, you know what, we need to kind of put him in a sport that there's some discipline, stuff like that. And so the local YMCA had taekwondo, and there I went.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
it was very good fundamentally, like the tenets of taekwondo and stuff like that. Really kind of created a foundation to even like current day.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Especially as a young man or a young kid, like, you need discipline in your life or else you go crazy. You start, getting into trouble too much. And, I feel that. I got my fair share of trouble. I wish my parents put me in or like some martial art when I was younger. I feel like that would have benefit, but you live and you learn. I got into running instead. But yeah, cool, man. So you got out of the military and then you moved back up to Tampa or Dade?
Yeah, it took about a year for me to find a house, and I finally locked it down, and there we go.
Sweet, sweet. And you've been there ever since? Yeah.
Yeah, I just like this area of Florida, kind
Yeah.
of that Tampa area.
Tampa's a beautiful area. I've been up a couple of times, but yeah, Tampa's gorgeous. Especially West Coast. West Coast beaches are. I mean, it's a different game over there. It's such nice beaches. I love them, man. I was just over in Sarasota, like not too long ago, maybe last year, and it was just completely different beaches, all flat but real fine sand. The water's clear. It's gorgeous over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in West Palm, or Palm Beach Gardens area. Yeah. I lost you for a second. But so when did you start getting in? I mean, I know you had a running background from cross country. So when did you start getting into like ultra running, or where'd you hear the sport? Because
During my senior year, I was kind of deciding like, what do I really want to do next? And I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. So Mil Curry's, a lot of his vlogs.
uh-huh.
It's I'm like, man, those are some badass locations. And that got me into it. I was like, hey, these people are that's crazy. I got to do it.
It's the distance that caught my eye. I was like, what? How could people run that far? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. A couple years later.
it's a chain of event. You know, you do your first 50K and all of a sudden now you're doing 100 miles.
It's exactly how it started. Yeah. That's nuts, man. So did you start out with like what had been your longest distance before that? Or I guess marathon distance?
The half marathon.
Half marathon? Okay, cool. And then
Marathon, I've ran, I think 113.
oh,
And then,
that's a nice time.
you know what? I'm going to go straight for the 100 mile.
You went straight for the 100 miler?
Straight for it. And this was
Woo!
the summer after my senior year of college. I went out to the Mohican 100
Oh my,
and I made it to mile 52. You know, I was coming downhill and I just landed on a rock and like hyperextended my ankle
oh damn, man.
miles to like that main area, and that was it. The worst part of that though is that I could see my parents at that finish line area like a mile away.
Ah,
And
shoot.
that was that's the worst thing. Like I knew it was over for me, but I was like, man, now it's over for them.
They were planning on being there at least another 12 hours.
We were shooting for 18, somewhere between 18 and 20 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. So was it more technical terrain? Where was that race at?
I forget where in Ohio it's at, but yeah, it's a lot of up and down, a lot of rooty type of terrain.
Oh, sweet, man. So very technical, and yeah, you just hit a rock the wrong way. Mm,
Yeah.
mm. I'm assuming. Well, I'm pretty sure you went back and you finished another 100 mile. When was your like first completion of one?
Oh, it took me I think it was 2019
Oh,
at the
okay.
long haul 100.
Oh, sweet, man. Long haul.
Yeah, out at long haul. It took me 31 hours.
I think we did Louis Coco's Miami, and that took us around like 31 hours, man. That was a brutal time. Oh, what was the worst part for you?
Dude, so we had like 3 different storm fronts come through
Yeah.
and hours of rain, and I was not ready for foot care under like rain
Uh,
and conditions. And so all my backup shoes got wet, all my socks got wet. I was starting to get trench foot.
oh no.
And so I think there was a point where I walked a full mile in an hour.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the rain just screwing with you, man. Oh my God. Wait, yeah. That's nuts. So did you hit a wall at any point? Or was there just like a rain? The rain was the biggest issue of it, with getting everything wet or
I think the last 4 loops were like the worst ones for me.
oh
The
my
last was great, but those 3 coming into it, horrible. My
God.
full in, it was awful. And then on my last loop, what I ended up having to do was borrow a pair of shoes that was a size and a half bigger than mine.
Yeah.
And so we cut up my feet, basically just made like an insole for my feet.
Uh-huh.
Those shoes that are bigger than me, I put those on, and man, I felt great. I was ready to go for that last loop.
That's awesome, man. It just gave your toes just a little extra room, so you wouldn't be
Yeah,
rubbing up against it so much.
I started coming, so I came back through the hub, and Andy's like, "Joe, you came back dead. What are you doing here?"
That's hilarious. Oh my God. So long haul was your first completion, right?
Yeah, first and only for the 100. I feel like I probably should turn some kind of light on here.
It's getting dark out.
I'm so used to doing stuff from my car, I forget that I don't do video. I just do audio.
Or do you ever think about doing video too, or are you just gonna stay strictly audio? I mean, I like it. Audio is great, man.
I don't know. Right now, I think I'm pretty good with just audio. I'm still getting used to probably even like showing up on video.
Yeah,
That
yeah, that's true.
I'm really comfortable with not going video at this point.
Yeah, no,
But
you're knocking them out, man. I really appreciate those podcasts. I've been listening to a couple of them. It's a good podcast, man. I love it. Yeah. So what's your favorite distance you like to run?
Man, I'd probably go. I like the 100K.
100K.
Not, I've only done like one, but that one experience, I really enjoyed that distance. I like that mileage. It's just a little bit further than the 50 mile, but it's not a 100 miler.
It's right. I would have to agree. Like it's right where stuff starts to hurt, but it's not like too bad. So when you finish, you're like, okay, I can still get up the next day and have a normal day. But you put your time in for sure. What was the 100K that you did?
It was Croom Zoom out at Croom.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that actually right before I went out to the long haul 100.
Oh wow. Oh, so that was like a prep run.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have done it, but I enjoyed
It gave you a little bit of a vote of confidence for it. You're like, all right, I can handle another 40 miles. Yeah, no big deal.
all the long run.
Um, I'm sure you've done regular marathons in the past. Do you train a specific way, or do you kind of keep your training like?
What I've only done one marathon.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, it's just so far so fast. I don't know. I've done one, and I don't know if I'm going to do another one.
I agree.
Real motivation.
Yeah. It's the distance for me. It's not the speed. I mean, I love getting great time. Don't get me wrong, but like I like the journey of the day going by, and you get to see the sun go up in some races, and some races you see the sun go down, and it's the journey the whole way through.
Yeah, because I went out to the Rock and Roll Savannah. This was 2 years ago, and I had a really good training block. I was being coached by Pat Reagan at that time.
Oh, whoa.
With Pat, man, I got in really good shape. But the goal is 248, and I came across that finish line at 245.
Whoa,
So,
beat your expectations too.
yeah, I got a like you get a muscle spasm, your muscles kind of just start whipping around everywhere.
Yeah.
With like a mile to go, and I looked at my watch and I was like, man, if I want to do this, I gotta do this. I'm pushing through. I could just feel like the muscle moving and twisting and turning in my calf.
Oh.
This screaming, and the guy on the bike next to me, because I think I got third. I got third overall, second male.
Oh, that's awesome, dude! Congrats! Holy crap!
Yeah, look at me like, oh my gosh, what's going on here?
His calf is wiggling.
It's just a muscle spasm.
You never seen it before? That's funny. Oh my! And you finished with damn good time.
Yeah, I was just happy. I hit my goal, and I don't know if I want to do another one, but I enjoyed.
I might do. I'm actually never done an official marathon, and I mean, I probably will do one just to see what it's like. But I mean, I think ultra's where my heart is at for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess back to training though. For right now, for the past year, I haven't trained. I haven't done anything.
You just
I
kind of
lost motivation, or moving back here to Florida and buying a house, starting a new career.
it's a lot.
14 chickens,
Yep.
and then yeah, and I've got two new dogs, but now 3 dogs.
Oh,
I don't
shoot.
I don't know if I just lost motivation, or it's just like, hey, adulting life stuff.
I hear you. Yeah. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Part of that too is knowing like, yeah, like I could go pretty quick, or I could just go do a 50K and be fine.
Exactly.
Which I did that for a while, because I jumped into 50K with like running once that week, and then I did another big run or back to back, long run weekend with some friends.
Yeah.
It would just tear me up for the next week. And was thinking like, oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, like 2 years ago I could do that. Not now.
I'm sure you'll get the motivation back. Yeah, it's in you. Running's always been a part of your life. Mhm.
But yeah, so that's the thing though. I think the hardest part was comparing myself to 2-3 years ago or back in college.
Yeah.
I'm comparing myself to something that doesn't even compare.
Where you had probably so much more time on your hands to put that kind of training in. Now you're dealing with, you're dealing with your job, you're dealing with your girlfriend, you're dealing with things that are coming up, and you're still balancing a lot, you know?
Yeah, because 2 weeks ago and then last week into this week, these are the only 3 weeks that within probably a year that I've actually stuck to a plan and kept the plan, like not overdoing it.
Nice, nice.
30 some miles 2 weeks ago, 30 some
Ooh,
miles, and then I'll still do 30 some miles this week.
hell yeah.
Where, yeah, to me, it seems like it's slow, but it's really not because I have to go back to the fundamentals and
Yeah.
babies and start all the way over.
Is what it is, You start, you'll be a better person for it, honestly.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, it was like Monday, 5 miles, and then Tuesday I did a speed workout.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's back to the fundamentals. It wasn't really a speed workout. It was more of 50-meter sprints and 100-meter sprints,
Those are
but
good.
focusing on high knees,
Mhm.
hip, where are my hips? Are they backwards? Are they forwards? Am I in good posture? How are my shoulders doing? Am I uptight? Am I loose? It was just focusing on that in the biomechanics side of things through those short sprints.
I think I have an issue where I usually, especially during long runs, I tighten up a lot. I start to raise the shoulders and stuff, and I probably should focus on that a little bit more because after a long run, I wondered why, like, my arms are so tight and stuff. It's probably not good for
Yeah,
my running posture.
one of the weird things that I learned back in high school, because I was coached by Bob Schul back when I was in high school.
Oh,
He
wow.
won the gold at Tokyo in 1964.
That's
But
nuts. What a
yeah,
teacher.
one of his little tricks was if you're running, you feel tight. If you drop your pinkies and somehow like your shoulders just loosen up.
It just rotates your shoulder blade or your shoulder cuffs.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird thing where if you
Oh,
overthink it, it happen, but if you just kind of think, "Oh, drop my pinkies," it's weird, but it works.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, thank you. Cool, bro. Cool. What kind of dogs do you have?
I've got 2 German Shepherds in a pit.
Ah, beauties, man. I love German Shepherds. My late dog was a pit mixed lab. They're such misunderstood like breeds, honestly.
Yeah, technically that's what it's a boy. Samson is his name. Yeah, lab mix,
Yeah.
but he's really Staffordshire Bull on a pit bull side, so he's a lab.
Does he have like the little bit of like the stockiness that the pit bull does have, and then like the face of the lab?
Yeah, well, he used to look more pit bullish a couple years ago. Now he's kind of fat and chunky, but
He's grown into himself.
yeah, now he's a little more wide around the waist.
He's got to go on runs with you, man.
And he could do half a mile.
Oh, damn, nice. That's man.
The German Shepherds, I really have only gone around 4 or 5 miles with them.
Oh, wow, that's a lot for a German Shepherd too. Wow, cool.
Yeah, when I lived in Columbus, Georgia, I used to bring them down to the Wednesday Run Club.
Oh yeah.
So we'd go run by the river and then have some beers at the guy who owned the running store also owned the coffee shop next door, but the coffee shop also had beer.
The best of both worlds. That's cool, man. So also I wanted to go into you are a race director, right?
Yeah, so I've got Skunk Ape events down in the Green Swamp here in Dade City.
That's cool, man. How old are you? You're like what, 26, 27?
26.
Yeah, and that you like I want to say you're one of the youngest race directors I've ever heard of, for sure.
Yeah, because I started the first race I had was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I had the first night run,
Oh wow.
and that it's still the same thing. It's $15 in a potluck for the
Oh,
Skunk Ape night.
I like
It's
that
just yeah, it's a 30K loop. It's super dark. It's wet.
one.
It's kind of miserable, but and $15. So
You can't pass it up.
yeah,
Honestly, yeah. Go ahead.
I'll say, yeah, because like here at St. Leo, we did a lot of running out at the Green Swamp because it's only probably 12 minutes from campus. And
Oh,
even I'm only like 12 minutes away from the Green Swamp, which is nice.
that's not bad.
But
Yeah.
I always wanted to get more people out there and try to convince people, like, oh man, come on, check out the swamp with me. A big part of me that give back, at least give back to running
Yeah.
here in, I was like, oh, I'll put on a race out here.
That's a race that I probably should have that I would have needed like 2 or 3 years ago if I knew about it, because it's like perfect, like every other price you look at for an ultra. And I'm not complaining. I love them, but they get a little expensive. And I was in college too. So I was like, I didn't have any money to, dish out like that. And that's
Yeah, that's one of the big things too. Well, the first year I did it $15 because on the side part, if it was horrible, at least people weren't like they're not out a lot of money.
yeah.
But I want to keep it affordable. Like it's an easy entry for everybody. When I was in college, I was broke, so that was nice for me.
Yeah.
And really, I don't make that much off of it. I think so. The last year is when I got my dogs, the two German Shepherds,
Yeah.
and the profit that I made from that race went to all their vet bills and their space.
Oh, there you go. Hey, at least it went to a good cause.
It helped me out with my dogs.
Yeah. It's how long you've been doing that for?
Um, I've had two of the night runs and then one of the 60Ks.
And
So,
what are they?
so the night run is that 30K course, and then Skunk Ape's Revenge is the race that should be in February as long as everything gets approved.
Okay.
2 loops of that 30K course, but it's during the day.
Sweet. And do you get a decent turnout from everybody? I mean,
Yeah, I think last year for the night run we had almost 80 some show up.
oh, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then for the 60K, I think it was about 60 people.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's a good turnout, especially for like, being such a young or like race in the ultra community. That's awesome. The ultra, I'm finding the more and more that I like talk to people in the ultra community, it's a very tight community. Everybody's very friendly, happy to show up to any race, like, just to run and just with people in general. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. I think it's weird with Florida because Florida is such a weird state when you compare it to the rest of like the country in ultra.
Yeah.
In Florida, everybody knows everybody. Like it's wild. Like even if you go out of the state and there's another Floridian, they probably know your name in some kind of fashion.
That's wild.
In Colorado, usually only maybe the regional people know the regional people. They probably don't the other side of the state. Same thing like Utah, Arizona is probably pretty niche just with Aravaipa, but it's just weird that like Florida for the entire state, pretty much everybody knows everyone's name.
That's really cool. I mean, considering how big Florida is, you would think the opposite. That's neat. That's neat. I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you met Hot Chocolate, right?
Woo-wee.
He's a character, man. We met him doing Louis Coco's run in the 100 miler. Man, he was killing it that day. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's nice to see him out at long haul.
Yeah.
Because at all you're just going, out back,
Uh-huh.
and you're always leapfrogging people. So sometimes he's going this way, you're going this way, man, pumps you up.
He really does.
And then if he's getting tired when it goes from like here to
Barely get it out. But he's always got a smile on his face, man. He's such a happy runner. Oh my gosh. He did like a 200 miler from like, I think St. Augustine to Tampa. I've been meaning to talk to him. I feel like that would be a cool story to hear about. Oh my gosh.
the Across Florida 200.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. 200 miles, I can't fathom. Like that's insane.
It's wild too, because like you just have a GPX file. You have to follow the GPX file.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Brought you from redneck area of Ocala to some random city streets to beautiful trails. But it was that course had everything in it from what I heard.
Whew. And is there, I mean, are you pretty much on your own on that one? I mean, from what you heard, like, are you, or is there stops along the way?
Yeah, it's self-supported.
Wow, that's insanity. That's insanity. One day, I can only dream.
It'd be fun to do with a group. If I get like a group of 5 people, I
Exactly.
think it.
That's 4 days, just at least 4 days of insanity. Oh my God. Whew.
Lost 118. That's a race that I really want to do, or Keys 100
Ooh.
group to go with.
I would do the Keys 100. That sounds like a good time. Yeah. Usually we've been having like me and my cousin run together usually, and we've been having like our family members like crew us and stuff. But I mean, that would be a good run to do. Who crewed you for your first 100?
Um, so I kind of buddied up with Jeff Iosa and then Roth and that whole group.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
they're out of Dunedin.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, it was nice to have all those guys because of course Jeff was out there running, and so Jeff and Raph. The other Jeff starts with a G,
Uh,
and then I J. But yeah, those guys, that Dunedin crew is they got a really good group.
nice, nice. I mean, and plus the runners, so they know what you need. You know, they're going to be right there.
Yeah, I think too, if you're doing long haul and you're worried about not finding a crew, it's nice for moral support, for sure, for moral support.
Oh,
If there's a race where you don't need a crew, definitely long haul.
okay.
If you're always crossing that hub, so you're always going to see your gear, and you're always going to at least get the morale boost from going through that.
Very nice. I got another question. What's the worst advice that you got when during an ultra, or do you have any bad advice given?
I don't know if I had any bad advice or if I've gotten any. I think it's people. I think it's more advice that I've seen online
Okay.
is trying to recommend food and recommend shoes to people.
Okay. Yeah.
Food and shoes is 1,000 times based off the individual.
Okay.
Because for me, if I'm doing an ultra, bro, I'm slapping hot dogs.
I like that. Yeah.
I'll go to the store and just get that dollar pack of hot dogs, and in my vest, I'll have lube and hot dogs. Do the handheld order and stuff. But man, the hot dog, it just sits well in my stomach. It's fat, it's salt. It works for me.
That's a good move, man. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's definitely does not work for everybody. Or like Tailwind versus Scratch versus all those other brands. There's not really one that works best. There's one that works for your stomach though.
You try it before you show up to the big race. Yeah. I've been sticking with Asics and they've been working for me, but I want to branch out and see if there's any better options for me for sure. What do you wear?
Yeah, same thing with shoes, right? So like everybody's foot and their biomechanics are different. And
Yeah.
your bio they're really gonna dictate how you're using the shoe correctly or incorrect.
Okay. What do you,
So
yeah.
I'm rocking the Hoka Bondis and the Cliftons right now. And then I also have a pair of Atreyus, but the Atreyus definitely a short distance, mid distance shoe.
Mhm.
All it is a slab of EVA foam with the mesh on top, and they have the thick shoelaces. So they tight when you tighten them, they're not moving.
Okay. They're not going to come loose on you in the middle of the race or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much expansion going on with those. Whereas like other shoes, even like the Hokas, the laces over time they'll get a little bit looser.
Yeah. And you don't want to lose shoe while you're trying to, that's the worst thing where you got to like, especially in a technical terrain. Oh my gosh. I found that out the hard way.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Florida too. You don't necessarily need like a trail shoe. I mean it's just my opinion,
Yeah.
but if you're rocking through mud and stuff, yeah, the road shoes kind of suck because there's not a lot of traction, but
Probably
I
nice.
don't know. I've made it at least.
Yeah, the Swamp 100K. I forgot my my trail shoes, so I had to do it in road shoes. It worked, but I probably could have used the trail shoes.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Because are you wearing? Yeah, they're just the ASIC road shoes, right?
Yeah, just ASIC road shoes. Yeah. It works for me.
ASICs is nice. It has the gel.
Yeah.
They're than other brands, but they do have the gel, and depending on if it's the supportive one or not supportive one, or I guess neutral, it's going to have that harder piece of foam on the inside surrounded by that other foam.
I think that's what my other one is. It's like the fly foam or what that specific type of foam that they had.
Yeah, that's like the high speed one. It's a lot lighter too.
Not that I use it for ultras, but oh, sweet man, sweet. Well, I want to let you get to it since it's getting dark out. I don't want you sitting in your car, but it was really nice having you on, man.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Maybe we could do this again sometime. And when's your next race? Are you thinking about?
Man, I'm doing a 10K over, I forget where it's actually at or how to pronounce the name.
Yeah.
It's in Amy's. It's one of their races. It's not Moon Over Croom or Croom Moon River Run. It's not that one. This one's got like a sea turtle kind of thing to it at the end of the month.
Oh,
And
cool.
that's what age kind of where I'm at fitness level wise.
Sweet, man. Yeah, getting back into it. I love it.
I gotta start over. So I'm not doing it probably for at least a year.
Okay, just take
Probably
it.
here. I gotta build a base and then get everything built back up.
I hear you, brother. Yeah, hey, it's got to be done. Well, I think me and my cousin are thinking about doing another 100K or a 50 miler soon. But I mean, hey, anytime you have something going on anywhere else, like down south here. I know JW Corbett does a nice ultra run. If you want to come down here, or we'll do your run soon. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
The next time. When's the Skunk Ape one again? I'm sorry.
July 23rd. My
Okay.
birthday.
When's your birthday?
My birthday's on the 22nd.
On the 27th.
Okay.
We could celebrate. I'll come by. We'll do this. Celebrate our birthdays.
Yeah, there's another lady. Her birthday is on July 22nd.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'm like, oh hey, like this would be perfect for my birthday run. Hey, it's my birthday weekend too. Go in, happy birthday.
Well, I hope to see you there, man. Yeah, if I get the chance, I'll definitely want to come up and do that race.
That'd be sweet.
Thank you very much, Joe or Joseph. Thank you, man. Have a good night. Good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Peace.